Welcome to Rajya Sabha TV. You're watching News Tonight. My name is Atina Palgirotra. Let's get the news rolling with the headlines first. Prime Minister Narendra Modi welcomes new dawn of peace for Northeast, addressing a massive gathering to celebrate the Bodo Accord in Kokrajhar. PM says road to development has opened in the region in the 21st century, asserts that his government will not let the darkness of violence and terrorism to return to the region. Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan and Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar make statements on the coronavirus in the Rajya Sabha. Harshvardhan informs House about steps taken to prevent the disease. Jaishankar tells members that India has offered to evacuate citizens of all neighbouring countries from China. Lok Sabha disrupted over remarks against Rahul Gandhi. Congress members rushed to the well to stop Union Minister Harshvardhan from speaking. House proceedings adjourned for the day. All set for Delhi Assembly elections tomorrow. QR code to be used for the first time in the poll. Election Commission makes special arrangements for senior citizens and disabled people to cast votes. Counting of votes on 11th of February. And coronavirus death toll touches 636 in China. World Health Organization calls for health experts meet in Geneva on February 11th and 12th to discuss drugs and vaccines. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu congratulates Air India team for evacuating 600 Indians from Wuhan, China, the epicenter of the disease. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said on Friday that it was because of people's support that the Bodo Peace Accord was signed, heralding a new dawn of peace in Assam. Addressing a massive public rally to celebrate the signing of the accord on 27 January that is expected to bring lasting peace to the troubled state, Modi said, now the time was to work together for peace and development of the Northeast.
असम सहित पूरे नॉर्थ ईस्ट के लिए 21वीं सदी में एक नई शुरुआत, एक नए सवेरे का, एक नई प्रेरणा को वेलकम करने का अवसर है। आज का दिन संकल्प लेने का है कि विकास और विश्वास की मुख्य धारा को मजबूत करना है। अब हिंसा के अंधकार को इस धरती पर लौटने नहीं देना है।
The Prime Minister appealed all those who are still following the path of violence to quit arms and return to the mainstream. He said that the Bodo youths could be seen as an example in this regard. Modi emphasized that violence will never be the solution of any issue.
कि बोडो जनजाति के हर अधिकार का, भाषा संस्कृति का विकास सुनिश्चित होगा, संरक्षण सुनिश्चित होगा। इस समझौते के बाद इस क्षेत्र में राजनीतिक, आर्थिक, शैक्षणिक हर प्रकार की प्रगति होने वाली है। मेरे भाइयों और बहनों, अब सरकार का प्रयास है कि असम अकॉर्ड की धारा 6 को भी जल्द से जल्द लागू किया जाए।
Prime Minister Modi also assured the people of Assam and other northeastern states that no outsiders would be able to settle in this region due to the Citizenship Amendment Act. He said that rumors are being spread that outsiders would be settled in this part through CAA.
यही ताकतें हैं जो पूरी ताकत से असम और नॉर्थ ईस्ट में भी अफवाहें फैला रही हैं कि सिटीजनशिप अमेंडमेंट एक्ट सीएए से यहां बाहर के लोग आ जाएंगे, बाहर से लोग आकर बस जाएंगे। मैं असम के लोगों को आश्वस्त करता हूं कि ऐसा भी कुछ भी नहीं होगा।
Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan on Friday informed Rajya Sabha about the steps taken to tackle the coronavirus outbreak. He informed the House that the government has taken several measures to check and prevent the spread of the coronavirus in India. So far, only 3 cases of the coronavirus have been found in Kerala. Many people with symptoms of the coronavirus have been placed in isolation facilities, with special wards having been set up in hospitals. He also informed the House that special labs have been created to check the virus, and the government is reviewing the situation every day. A group of ministers has also been informed.
In our country, 3 positive cases have been reported so far from Kerala. All these cases have travel history from Wuhan in China. They have been isolated and are reported to be clinically stable. The ever increasing magnitude of this outbreak calls for a concerted action by not only health but all sectors of government. Government of India has initiated a series of actions to prevent entry of the disease and to contain it. I am daily reviewing the situation.
The Health Minister also said that India is providing assistance to other countries in tackling the challenge of the coronavirus. The Indian Council of Medical Research has offered to test samples for other Southeast Asian countries.
Government of India has also provided support to other countries in tackling the challenge posed by the 2019 NCOV disease. ICMR has offered to do testing of samples for other Southeast Asian region countries. Testing of samples from Maldives has already been undertaken. Request from Afghanistan for samples testing has been agreed to. We have agreed to provide technical assistance to Bhutan in managing this infectious disease and screening of passengers also. Government of India is constantly monitoring the situation and is taking all necessary steps to avoid the spread of the novel corona disease.
India has offered to help China evacuate its citizens as well as citizens of other neighboring countries. Under this offer, Maldives citizens were evacuated from Wuhan. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar informed the Rajya Sabha about this on Friday. He also said that the Indian embassy is in constant contact with 80 Indian students who are still in Wuhan in China. Of these, 10 people could not be brought back as they were suffering from fever and were stopped by Chinese authorities, and the remaining 70 people are staying there. The House also showered praises on Air India and Indian embassy officials involved in this campaign.
By our estimate, there are about 80 Indian students who are currently still in Wuhan. This includes 10 students who had come to the airport when the flights were sent, but who were running fever. And so the Chinese authorities, after screening, did not allow them to board the flight. But about 70 odd people also chose voluntarily to stay in Wuhan and not get evacuated in the 2 flights. I also would, sir, through you, like to assure the House and the families of the students that the embassy is in touch with all the students. We regularly monitor their welfare, understanding and appreciation of the House. The 2 embassy officials also went from Beijing to Wuhan at considerable risk.
Yes, they also deserve, and the entire House joins in applauding their efforts.
And finally, sir, regarding the question regarding Pakistan, at the time when our 2 flights were going, we had told all the students and the larger community in Wuhan that we were prepared not only to bring back our own people, but bring back all the people in our neighborhood who would like to come back.
Good.
So this was an offer which was made to all our neighbors. But Of them, the 7 nationals of Maldives chose to avail of the offer, but I would like honorable members to know that the offer was made to everybody.
In China, the death toll has climbed to 636 with 73 mortalities, while the total number of confirmed cases crosses 31,000. The deceased on Thursday also included Chinese doctor Li Wenliang, one of the 8 whistleblowers who warned of the coronavirus outbreak but were reprimanded by the police. He was the first to report about the virus back in December last year when it emerged in Wuhan. The World Health Organization has warned that the world will run out of masks and other protective equipment against the novel coronavirus. WHO chief said that WHO would be speaking to members of the supply chain network for protective gear to try and resolve bottlenecks in the production. WHO earlier this week said it had started sending masks, gloves, respirators, protective isolation gowns and test kits to countries requiring assistance. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has thanked Air India for evacuating more than 600 Indians from the epicenter of coronavirus outbreak in China. In a Twitter message, he complimented the 34-member Air India team for flying into coronavirus-hit Wuhan city and carrying out evacuations on board 2 special flights. He said that it was heartening to know that all the evacuees tested negative for coronavirus. Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu lauded members of Rajya Sabha for making 0-hour submissions in their mother tongue. Chairman Naidu has always encouraged members to use mother tongue while ensuring that English and Hindi translations are available for other members.
India's linguistic diversity was on display in the upper house as members made 0-hour submissions in varied languages. Member A. Vijay Kumar made a 0-hour mention in Tamil, while member Sasmit Patra made a 0-hour submission in Odia.
கன்னியாகுமரி முதல் காஷ்மீர் வரை ஒரே நாடு என்ற தேசபக்தி மிக்க தேசிய தலைவராகும்.
Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu complimented the members for making 0-hour submissions in their mother tongue.
Whenever any member speaks in their mother tongue, I feel immensely happy in my heart of hearts. बस धीरे धीरे ट्रांसलेशन व्यवस्था हो जाएगा, चिंता मत करिए. शुरू में अंग्रेजी में बोलते थे, लोग समझ में आते थे क्या लोगों को, धीरे धीरे हो गया.
In a significant development, the Rajya Sabha Secretariat has started providing simultaneous interpretation for 5 more languages: Santhali, Dogri, Kashmiri, Konkani and Sindhi. This became possible after Chairman Naidu inducted a new panel of interpreters. Of the 22 scheduled languages, the Rajya Sabha earlier had simultaneous interpretation service for only 17 languages. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Lok Sabha witnessed uproar on Friday with the opposition and treasury benches locked in an argument over a statement made by Congress leader Rahul Gandhi regarding Prime Minister Narendra Modi. During question hour, Union Minister Harshvardhan had condemned Gandhi's remarks before answering the question raised in Lok Sabha. This led to Congress members creating uproar and trooping into the well of the House. They also tried to stop the minister from speaking. After this, Speaker Om Birla adjourned the House till 1 p.m. However, the deadlock continued when the House reassembled. Proceedings were then first adjourned till 2 p.m. and then till Monday. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi condemned the behaviour of Congress MPs.
Only condemn the behavior of the Congress Party MP. It is highly uncalled for. They tried to come and snatch the paper. If at all anything is wrongly stated, then it is the domain of the Speaker to decide. But instead of that, trying to come and attack the minister is highly condemnable.
With this, we'll halt in for a quick breather, but we'll be back soon. Stay tuned with us.
Watch The Big Picture with me, Frank Rausen Pereira, at 9:30 p.m.
India is strategically located on the world's shipping routes with a coastline of approximately 7,500 kilometers. Maritime transport handles around 70% of India's trading in value terms.
The basic purpose of this entire project is to, one of the basic objectives of this program is to reduce the logistic cost.
Yes.
For reducing the logistic cost, we need to have a seamless connectivity from the hinterland to the port.
We need to improve the infrastructure, cranes and forklifts, etc., so that you don't get stuck for a very long time.
Prosperity is actually infectious. If you start have prosperity here, it has to spread. It has to have a backward link. And that's how the whole thing seeps into the country. I think that's the logic.
Welcome back. You're still with us on News Tonight. Let's now get you all the news and updates from the upcoming Delhi Assembly elections. Over 1,47 lakh voters will exercise their franchise on Saturday to choose a 70-member Delhi Assembly. Voting will begin at 8 a.m. in the morning and will continue till 6 p.m. 13,750 polling stations have been set up for the people to cast their votes. With total 672 candidates in the fray, all preparations are in place for elections. Delhi Chief Electoral Officer Dr. Ranbir Singh said that the Election Commission has made all the necessary arrangements for the convenience of voters and have also appealed to voters to exercise their right.
वहाँ हेल्प डेस्क होंगी, वहाँ पे ऑफिसर जो बैठे होंगे वो इसको स्कैन करेंगे और इसका मेन मकसद ये है कि जो वोटिंग की प्रक्रिया है वो फास्ट हो, क्योंकि अक्सर ये देखने में आता है कि जब वोटर वहाँ जाता है तो उसका नाम इलेक्टोरल रोल में ढूंढने में काफ़ी समय ज़ाया हो जाता है। व्हील चेयर की व्यवस्था करते हैं और वॉलंटियर्स की व्यवस्था करते हैं, साइन लैंग्वेज की, ब्रेल की व्यवस्था करते हैं, डमी बैलेट शीट की व्यवस्था करते हैं, तो वो सब तो होगा ही। उसके अलावा पिक एंड ड्रॉप फैसिलिटी भी हम प्रोवाइड करेंगे इन वोटर्स के लिए।
Metro services will begin at 4 a.m. on Saturday to facilitate the polling personnel and others to reach their destination on time. Counting of votes will take place on 11th of February. Delhi Police has also made elaborate security arrangements to ensure smooth conduct of the election.
मोबाइल टीम है, सब तरह के हैं और अगर मैं आपको पैरामिलिट्री फोर्स के बताऊं तो 190 कंपनीज ऑफ पैरामिलिट्रीज आर डिप्लॉयड टू मेक द अरेंजमेंट फुल प्रूफ। इसके अलावा 19,000 होमगार्ड्स हैं, उसमें बाहर से भी होमगार्ड्स आए हैं।
A model polling station termed as Pink Booth has been set up in all 70 constituencies as Delhi goes to vote on Saturday. The Pink Booth will be managed exclusively by women only. The booth will have medical kits, crutches, ramps, wheelchair, among other things available for all voters. This will be the first assembly election in Delhi where all constituencies will have a pink booth each.
उस पोलिंग स्टेशन के अंदर जितने भी बूथ हैं वो सब मॉडल पोलिंग बूथ हैं और वो अच्छे से उनको सजाया संवारा जाएगा, आकर्षक बनाया जाएगा। दूसरी बात ये है कि इन सभी पोलिंग स्टेशंस के ऊपर जितने भी बूथ हैं वहाँ पर हमारा जो पोलिंग स्टाफ है वो वुमेन होंगे, तो जिनको कई बार पिंक बूथ भी कहते हैं।
The Supreme Court on Friday stayed the Bombay High Court order directing sale of bankrupt Housing Development and Infrastructure Limited to ensure repayment of dues of crisis-hit Punjab and Maharashtra Cooperative Bank. The bench took note of the appeal of the Reserve Bank of India against a Bombay High Court order. The top court also issued notice on RBI's plea to parties, including Sarosh Damania, who had approached the Bombay High Court for ensuring payment of dues to PMC Bank account holders. Earlier, the Bombay High Court had set up a 3-member committee for evaluating and sale of encumbered assets of HDIL to expeditiously recover dues payable by the firm to PMC Bank. The fraud at PMC Bank came to light in September last year after the Reserve Bank of India discovered that it had allegedly created fictitious accounts to hide over Rs 4,355 crore of loans extended to HDIL. Sri Lankan Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa arrived in the national capital on Friday for a 5-day visit to India. Rajapaksa is leading a 10-member high-level delegation, including 2 cabinet ministers. He will also hold bilateral meetings with Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Ramnath Kovind. A host of issues, including economic cooperation, maritime security in Indian Ocean region, trade and connectivity, along with skill development for Sri Lankan officials, will come up for discussion during delegation-level meetings. Sri Lanka has proposed air connectivity to Buddhist heritage city of Sanchi, and the same may be announced during the visit. Sri Lankan PM will also visit Varanasi, Sarnath, Bodh Gaya and Tirupati during his 5-day stay. This is the 3rd major visit from Sri Lanka after new government under President Gotabaya Rajapaksa took over last November, and shows the significance of bilateral relations between the two neighbours. Defence Research and Development Organisation has started giving many of its research technologies to private indigenous defence companies free of cost. Our correspondent Panchanan Mishra spoke to DRDO Chairman G. Satish Reddy at the ongoing Defence Expo in Lucknow.
सर, डिफेंस एक्सपो में देखा कि टेक्नोलॉजी ट्रांसफर पर काफी जोर है और आपने एक रिकॉर्ड भी बनाया है, तो उसके बारे में पहले बताएं।
हम इंडस्ट्री के साथ बहुत काम कर रहे हैं। हमारे पास अभी 1800 इंडस्ट्रीज डीआरडीओ के साथ काम कर रहे हैं। हम पूरा टेक्नोलॉजी इस इंडस्ट्री को दे रहे हैं। टोटल हम टेक्नोलॉजीज अभी 945 या टेक्नोलॉजी ट्रांसफर हमें ट्रांसफर किया, और लास्ट ईयर 1 साल में ज्यादा से ज्यादा 115 टेक्नोलॉजी ट्रांसफर ने किया। आज यहाँ पे डिफेक्सपो 2020 लखनऊ पे आज 15 टेक्नोलॉजीज 17 इंडस्ट्रीज को हमने ट्रांसफर किया, और इस साल अभी तक 45 टेक्नोलॉजीज ट्रांसफर हो चुका है। इसलिए हम इंडस्ट्रीज का हमारा रिलेशनशिप बहुत बढ़ते जा रहा है। इंडस्ट्रीज को हम बहुत डेवलप करना है, इसलिए हमारा टेक्नोलॉजी ट्रांसफर फी भी 0 कर दिया। अभी टेक्नोलॉजी ट्रांसफर करेंगे भारत के लिए, अगर वो यूज कर रहे हैं तो उसको नो टेक्नोलॉजी ट्रांसफर, और हमारा पूरा पेटेंट्स भी उनको ओपन कर दिया, इंडियन इंडस्ट्रीज यूज कर सकते। अगर वो नया चीज डेवलपमेंट करना है तो उनको भी फंडिंग करेंगे, और हमारा टेस्ट फैसिलिटी भी उनके लिए खोल दिया, आके हमारा टेस्ट फैसिलिटी यूज कर सकते हैं।
And now let's talk about environment and climate change. Bumblebees are in drastic decline across Europe and North America due to global warming and climate change. Loss of the vital pollinators like bumblebees will have dire consequences for ecosystems and agriculture. Recent research says that the rate of decline appears to be consistent with the mass extinction. It has long been known that bumblebees are more suited to cold weather with their fuzzy bodies and ability to generate heat while flying. Constant increase in Earth's temperature is affecting their survival. And with this, it's a wrap on this edition of News Tonight. Thank you for watching.